Good morning, everyone. Um, we were, we are set to address White Pigeon Township versus Rosalind Keenan, except Rosalind Keenan isn't here yet. Andrew Kreiber is here on behalf of the township, and Jason Trosper, the zoning enforcement officer, new zoning enforcement officer for White Pigeon Township. Um, Mr. Trosper, be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. So you
Yeah.
inherited Doug Kuhlman's mantle, and there's often a lot of difficult cases that come with that. So we'll just sit here for a minute. It's not unlike Ms. Keenan to show up not exactly on time. And so let me put you both in the waiting room. I have the live stream on, so it's pretty boring to just watch me sit here, but I don't want to talk about the case at all without her being present. So don't go away.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. What?
Jason.
Trosper.
Trosper. Okay. So
He's kind of famous. All right, we're gonna wait just a few minutes. And if she doesn't show up, we're gonna make a record. Stop the record. All right, back to the world's most boringest live stream. We will sit here for a few minutes. Well, maybe this is her. Miss Keenan, is that you?
Yes. How are you?
I'm fine. Are you just by telephone only?
Yes, because that's what it says on the paper here. David, can you look down here at this? Okay.
Your camera's that it's crack in front of it.
I know it's cracked. I'm sorry, sir, but my screen got dropped and smashed yesterday. So,
Well, it's not ideal by any means, but all right, we'll do the best we can. I don't like doing it by telephone only, particularly if we're going to be looking at exhibits.
okay.
See if I can try to.
Can David try to get through to you on his phone real quick because he has an iPhone?
Yes.
Okay. Should I hang up and call you back then in a minute?
Well, you can leave this connection up if David's going to do it on his phone.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
He's here by phone. Her son's going to see if he can get a Zoom connection.
A Michigan courtroom goes quiet as a property owner insists she was never properly served with a zoning violation notice. But township officials say the citation was mailed, posted on the property, and even documented with photos. Judge Jeffrey Middleton listens carefully, determined to uncover whether this was a legal mistake or simply ignored warnings.
I am trying this, and it looks like I'm not going to be able to get on here
again.
All right, well, let's do the best we can. All right, let's call the case. This is White Pigeon Township versus Rosalind Ray Keenan. The file number is 2513620N. Rosalind Keenan is here by telephone with her son David Zambrano. With her also present is Andrew Kreiber from the new White Pigeon firm, Gordon Reese Scully and Mansukani of Bloomfield Hills, and Jason Trosper is the zoning enforcement officer for White Pigeon. The defendant got a citation. This is see the best I can determine here. There are some issues. This is defendant's motion to set aside the default. And so that isn't a end all or be all. If the motion's set aside, then we just start from scratch. But here's what I know. The defendant received a citation on July 10th of 2025. And the address on the citation is 2129 McKinley Avenue, Mishawaka, Michigan. And it was for a parcel on Dowagiac Road in White Pigeon Township. Doesn't have an address. It was a nuisance ordinance. Letter sent to property owner on 1/21/25 by certified mail, returned as unclaimed. Violations are still present. So that was issued on July 10th of 2025. Now, I guess it was sent to the McKinley Avenue address in Mishawaka. I don't have a proof of service. The plea by mail was sent by the court to Rosalind Ray Keenan at 2129 McKinley Avenue, Mishawaka, Indiana. And that was sent, what's the date on that? It's 9/12/25. The defendant did not respond, and the judgment entered by default. Defendant has moved to set aside the default. She contends that the address listed on the judgment, and I didn't see this anywhere, was 5955 West Main Street, Kalamazoo. I don't think that's right. Defendant contends that her current address is 68906 Wallowell Road, White Pigeon. That's the address that's on the court file, and we'd had that address previously. I think her son, Mr. Zambrano's address is the Mishawaka address. Anyway, Ms. Keenan, you did a pretty good job of this. You filed a motion to set aside the default. You have an affidavit of your alleged meritorious defense. So let's see what we got here. First of all, before we start to arm wrestle about this, Mr. Kreiber, do you have any objection to the motion to set aside the default and just starting from scratch?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe you stated everything pretty properly. We did file a responsive motion to the motion to set aside default judgment, and there's just a couple things I'd like to address as it relates to that.
Hear. It's her motion, so we'll hear from her first, and then we'll hear from you. All right. This started way back in January of last year, and then July, and then September. Ms. Keenan, what's your contention?
Well, I was not properly served. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't get a notice.
Where do you presently reside?
Well, I believe I did trying to look at my dates too here. When I don't know what address they had when that happened, but my mailing address was at that address, but I also, the mailings that they were sending also, they sent to hold
You
up.
just
I
asked
got the paper.
where you currently reside. What's your current address?
I was trying to explain why I was not properly served, and then here, still looking through this. What I'm trying to sort out as well, please. I got one of them addresses where they had me send this mail to the.
Well, let me repeat my question.
Okay,
What's
I know
your
your question.
current
I apologize.
address?
The current address is 68906 Wallowa Road, White Pigeon,
All right.
Michigan.
So, all right.
490. Thank you.
Well, they sent it to that address, didn't they? Let's
Yeah, I
look.
think so.
Let's see here. Plea by mail went to the McKinley Avenue address. I guess at some point we changed your address to the Wallowa Road. We'd had that address in the past.
Yeah, when I
So,
went up to file the motions with
All
the lady.
Mr. Kreiber, you indicated you filed a responsive pleading. I don't see it. When was it filed?
Your Honor, I believe it was sent February 17th is what I have dated here. I want to say we did email it and mail it. I don't know if the court was e-filing. Let me see.
Well, let me see if there's an I was busy on February 17th. Key West email correspondence. But no, we got some correspondence from Mr. Brown indicating he wasn't going to be counsel, but I don't see.
Yeah, it was. I see an email sent to 3bcivil@stjosephcountymichigan.gov from my assistant Fran Beer at 3:26 p.m. on 2/17.
All right. Apparently, somewhere is an email regarding the Rosalind Keenan case from counsel in 3B civil mailbox. Somebody check that, please. All right. At any rate, Miss Keenan, the property is in White Pigeon Township on Dowagiac Road. I'm not familiar with that road. I thought I knew every road in the county. I was hoping maybe it was on the Cass County side of the line and this would be somebody else's problem. But so that's where the property is located. Is this that same property we dealt with years ago?
The case centers around a default judgment entered after the defendant failed to respond to a citation. She claims she never received the paperwork because of mailing address confusion and family handling her mail. But the township argues service was properly completed, including posting the citation directly on the property itself.
That's my understanding, Your Honor.
Yes, it is, Your Honor. It's the same one they tore the building down and
All right.
they started building again.
I don't know who he's asking. I think he was asking me, but sorry about that. I was butting in.
All right. There was some sort of a structure on it that was over by Wallowa Road, though, wasn't it? Well, at any rate, let's see what we can figure out. So, Ms. Keenan, your contention is you never got notice of this citation. So there's that first issue. Then the second issue is, do you have a meritorious defense? I haven't seen any pictures of this property for a number of years, and I don't know what current condition it is. Plaintiff filed a responsive pleading, which is lost in cyber limbo somewhere. Did you get a copy of it?
Your Honor, may I say something on the current situation? That's what I was saying here.
Well, let me ask, this is difficult when you're here just by telephone. Every time I ask you a question, you go off on something else. Did you get a copy of the attorney their pleadings in response to your motion to set aside the default.
Yes, I did.
All right. All right. At what address?
Okay.
Just
Just
give
one
us 1
second.
second, sir. We're looking at the paperwork.
All right. Well, I'll just let you start at the beginning. Miss Keenan,
Wallow Road. Oh, I'm
all
sorry.
right, you
go
got
ahead.
it at Wallowa Road. All right.
Yes.
Why do you believe you're entitled to have this default judgment set aside?
Well, I simply was not served, sir. And I wasn't properly served. I didn't know, and I'm about the judgment, the default judgment. I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
Well, you do all right.
I can stutter sometimes when I'm
Your Honor, she
very.
filed as soon as she.
Just a minute. Did you find it?
She filed as soon.
I never got it into the
Yeah,
file.
I did. I did file as soon as I found out up there at the clerk.
All right. Well, let's do something I should have done at the start. Miss Keenan, would you raise your right hand? It's not ideal that you're just by phone. Mr. Trosper, would you raise yours? You
Okay,
swear or
yes,
affirm
sir.
any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
Yes.
Mr. Kreiber, I apologize. I got your appearance. And that's all that went in there. Your pleadings were just handed to me. Somebody actually printed them. But what's the township's response to the defendant's motion?
Yes, Your Honor. So, thank you, and there's no problem in not having reviewed them previously. But I guess just to give the quick the quick summation of this is the service was properly effectuated. We did mail it to the subject properties tax statements, 2129 McKinley. We did also, I don't know if we had necessarily attached this, but we did try to mail it to the 611, another 611 address as well. Those mailings were returned as undelivered, unclaimed. Thereafter, on about July 10th, the citation was also posted on the subject property itself. So it was service was effectuated via posting, if nothing else at the end of the day. Notwithstanding that, Your Honor, I do not have a copy of the meritorious defenses, which Your Honor has already noted as one aspect in the requirement to set aside a default judgment. So I can't really speak as to what the meritorious defenses, meritorious defenses are at this time without knowing what they are, obviously. But that is a requirement that necessarily would need to be established for a default judgment to get set aside.
You mentioned you tried to send it to a 611 address. Are you referring to the Wallowa Road address, 69906?
Let me see, Your Honor. Just had it pulled up a second ago.
That would be 611 South 6th Street in Goshen, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
That is correct. Thank you, Jason.
That would be my old address.
Yeah, we lived there
I
clear back
resided there for years.
before I even purchased the property, and we moved since.
Notwithstanding the 611, I do believe plaintiff stated earlier that the mailing address on the tax records for the address was the 2129. So that would necessarily be proper to send to, Your Honor.
All right. And it was posted on the property.
That is correct.
That was in July, Mr. Trosper?
Yes, yep. I went out there. I had 3 of the sheriff's department's deputies go out there with me when we posted it. Because we did have threats coming into the township that if we showed up on the property, violence or something would happen to us. Because when Mr. Mixon sent the first letter out about the building going up, so I did have 3 witnesses out there, and then we do have pictures of it where it was posted in front of on a tree in front of the structure that's out there.
And a picture of that is attached as Exhibit B to our response as well, Your Honor. But there are additional pictures which are a little further away and more blurry.
Lapita, would you put that pleading in my on base? I'm also, she refers to the affidavit of meritorious defense, but I don't actually see it.
That is my understanding as well. I know she references it in her motion, which I do have a copy of her motion. I have a copy of her Exhibit A, which is the civil judgment. And I believe she refers to the meritorious defenses as attachment 1, but I have not seen an attachment 1.
Your Honor, I didn't know I had any until the day I filed these papers.
Say that again,
Again,
please.
I didn't know I had the judgment going on until the day that I filed the papers, and I came up there to the clerks and filed them immediately. Again,
Well,
I don't believe I was properly served,
The
sir.
property where the taxes go is the address for the property. Now, I don't even know if this property has an address. It should, but I don't believe it does. It's just Dowagiac Road. But the owner of the property, who is you, is registered with the taxes at a certain address. That's where they sent it. They actually posted on the property. So you're certainly got a notice of the citation. The question is regarding the plea by mail correspondence that went out from the court. That went to the McKinley address in Mishawaka. And that is apparently the address on the tax parcel. Your son, David Zambrano, lives there. A certified letter was sent to that address and it was refused. And now you claim, well, nobody told me what was going on. And I don't think that's going to carry the day.
Your Honor, my address, that is my mailing address. I actually am in the middle of relocating, so that's not actually where I reside.
We both are. Those are mailing addresses.
Named Richard Keenan. He allows me to have mail sent there while I'm currently homeless, and that's the same reason why this was not received on our end. Is because my brother's wife and him, they're the ones who receive our mail. So pretty much it's like our mailing address in care of him, and he did throw, or she may have thrown the envelope away or something like that where we did not receive proper notice.
And I went to the clerks and explained to her.
No. No. I've got it. There are some pictures attached to it. All right.
Judge Jeffrey Middleton methodically reviews the timeline certified letters, returned mail, property postings, and tax records. The key question, was the defendant truly unaware of the citation, or does the responsibility fall on her to monitor her own listed mailing address? In court, technical details can decide everything.
I'm familiar with this property. We had some disputes on it several years ago. It had a building on it that was built many years ago. That I don't think was on any sort of property record. I think they didn't even realize that it had a building on it. The building was old, and there were septic and well issues and other issues. I haven't heard anything about it in several years, but now apparently the property has been declared a nuisance because it's messy. It was posted on the property. It was sent to the address that taxes are registered to the property, which is required under the statute. The defendant had the previous Wallowa Road address, but her address on the pleadings is the Mishawaka address, which is David's address that is on file with the court. It was posted on the property. It was sent there. It was sent there by court. No response was made. The defendant also has not provided an affidavit of meritorious defense. So there are two things. You'd have to show good cause for not responding to the judgment. The good cause would be that you didn't know about it. But even though there's legal notice, there may not be actual notice. But you have to state some sort of meritorious defense. They contend this property is a nuisance because it's full of junk. And you haven't stated anything that said, no, it isn't. We've removed the property. We've cleaned it up. We don't own the property. Some other sort of meritorious defense to the argument that the default should stand. So your motion to set aside default is denied.
I appeal.
And the motion to stay enforcement is denied.
Your Honor,
I expect what's coming next, Ms. Keenan, is a request for a compliance order where they're going to request that you remedy the property, or they come in and do it and spread the bill on the taxes. Mr. Kreiber, is that where we're headed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Keenan, your family's owned this property for some time. What's your intention regarding whatever their allegations are? Do you intend to clean this up, or?
I'm prepared to answer any questions.
I'm not prepared because I'm just trying to get through to this, that, I wasn't properly served, sir.
You were legally served. You may have not had actual notice. It was posted on the property. They sent it to the address on the tax roll. They aren't clairvoyant. They don't know where you went to.
Sir,
So your plus, whether you were properly served or not, you didn't state any meritorious defense. So there's two prongs to the motion to set aside the default. One is due cause for not responding. That would be your lack of actual notice. Secondly, you need to file what's called an affidavit of meritorious defense to show that there's even a reason to set the default aside. But you haven't done that because I don't think there is a meritorious defense. I think the property is in poor condition. So the motion to set aside the default is denied. The motion to stay enforcement is denied. You owe the fine. Mr. Kreiber, do you intend to file for an enforcement order?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe that will be our next filing.
As emotions rise, the judge reminds everyone that setting aside a default judgment requires more than just claiming confusion. It requires proof of improper service and a valid defense. With zoning enforcement, property rights, and legal procedure all colliding, the courtroom waits for a ruling that could restart the entire case.
All right, Ms. Keenan, we're going to have further hearing on this regarding their request for a compliance order, requesting that you either clean the property up by a certain date or they'll do it. So you'll get notice of that at the Wallowa Road address, but you still owe the fine. and you still need to clean the property up. If you clean it up before that, we might not need a compliance order, but if you don't, we'll have another hearing. You'll give a notice. We'll make sure it's at the Wallowa Road address, and they will argue what they want me to order you to do to clean the property up. But for the time being, the order remains in effect. We'll have a further hearing regarding a compliance order, and we'll go from there. All right, you're free to go.
Are you going to set that compliance or that
Hearing.
hearing today?
Yeah, it'll be
When?
scheduled. I don't know the date. All right, thank you both. I apologize that I didn't have those pleadings in my file. I still don't, but they printed them out for me. I was on vacation and I'm not sure. It went into cyber limbo somewhere, but that was an appropriate address. It's actually a criminal case rather than a civil case, but it would have